People are dying at the hands of police officers every day. We've seen examples of this on the news lately. I personally have friends and family that are police officers that have given me a completely different perspective on than what is shown on the news. Here are examples. The people see force being used by police officers, and they automatically think brutality. But its definition of police brutality, according to the police brutality article from encyclopedia.com in 2003, is the use of any force exceeding that which is necessary, reasonably necessary, to accomplish a lawful police purpose. Case law defines what is reasonable force in the case Graham versus Connor in 1989. Force is to police work as water is to firefighting. You can't have one without the other. The media uses sensational video and sound bites to fuel the theme of police brutality. As long as some members of society do not comply with the law and resist police, force will remain an inevitable part of policing. This was said by Jerome H. Skolnick and James F. Fife, experts in law enforcement. They wrote the book Above the Law in 1993. An average person sees force, and they automatically form the opinion that it is police brutality. Only facts gathered by the officer, witnesses, the suspects, and physical evidence can really determine what force is justified. There are varying degrees of force, starting with the mere presence of a police officer and ending with deadly force. As you can see, there are different types of force, with something as simple as handcuffing a suspect to civilians being shot and killed. Handcuffing is the most commonly used force, and civilians being shot and killed is the least common. Among many contacts with the police officers and the public, in 2008, about 1.4% of people reported that they had force used or threatened upon them while coming in contact with police officers. These statistics weren't that different from the years 2002, when 1.5%, and 2005, when 1.6% had reported that force was being used while in contact with police officers. Lately, all you hear about is police brutality, but the issue's been talked about for many years. A landmark case, Graham versus Connor. Although a significant amount of force was used, causing great bodily injury, the behavior of the officer was considered justifiable. The officer was reacting to a bizarre, resistive behavior of Graham. It was later determined that he was having a diabetic episode. The officer was found, the force that the officer used was found reasonable in accordance with his training and his experience for the information that was given at the time. In short, the force met the objectionably reasonable standard in the fact that if any officer put in the same situation would have done the same thing. The calculus of reasonableness must embody allowance for that. The fact the police officers are often forced to make split-second judgments in circumstances that are tense, uncertain, and rapidly evolving about the amount of force that is necessary in a particular situation. This was said by Chief Justice William Rehnquist in Mark Clark's article of the Law Enforcement magazine in May 2015. This case now determines what force is justifiable and what is excessive force. The media doesn't clarify what is believed to be police brutality. They are more concerned with, or they are not concerned with what is reasonable or justifiable. They are more concerned with ratings and how many viewers they have. In a recent incident in Arizona, a video was showed of a police officer running over a suspect. The video was shocking to see, and the suspect was carrying a shotgun. He had robbed a Walmart and took the gun and fired shots. And he continued to fire shots down the street. And the officer believed the best way to stop him would be to run him over and not put any others in danger. And I have the video.
Stand off, behind the smoking. 3, 5, put down, walk, stay off. Out! Here we go. Jesus Christ, man down.
This video was repeatedly shown in the media. Only the most brutal part, though. It didn't really tell about what happened before the suspect got run over. Bottom line, police officers are not out to hurt innocent people. The members of the police department are meant to keep people safe and away from danger. Bottom line is that people see officers using force and automatically assume brutality of the lack of understanding that it is necessary force that is necessary to have force in police work. Police are mandated by policy, code, and law to use only amount of force that's necessary. The U.S. court determines what force is justified, and media uses perception of police brutality to gain more viewers. So let me ask you this. Is police brutality the issue, or is it public perception?